try and start recording also. So supplementary angles are angles that add up to 180, and you can see that I have 40 plus 140 equals 180, right? And then if I do the second one here, 125 plus 55 equals 180. So they don't have to be touching either. They just have to add up to be 180. Now, if they're touching, they're a special name, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, so if they're touching like this first one, there's a special name for that one, and we're going to talk about that in just a sec. The next thing we're going to talk about is adjacent angles. They're two angles that have a common side. So as you can see, they share this side right here. They share a side. They actually share a side and have a common vertex. So the vertex is the common right here. And they don't overlap. So they don't, I don't know why they put that part in there, but they just share a common side. And so they're just two angles. It doesn't matter if that's a linear pair, a supplementary, complementary, or they don't have to have any special relationship. They just have to have a common side and add up to be 180 degrees. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, and then the next one is called a linear pair, and I'm going to try and keep the supplementary angles up here because a linear pair are two adjacent angles, so which means they have to share a side, right, that create a line. So basically it's a pair of supplementary angles that are attached to each other. So you see 119 plus 61 equals 180, and 145 plus 35 equals 180. And you can see that they form a linear pair forms a line. That's how I can tell really well, because they form a line. Linear means line, right? So linear pair means line. Any questions on that? Not too bad. Okay, and then the last one is vertical angles, and the angles opposite each other when two lines cross, so it doesn't matter any two lines. So this is a vertical angle, and these two are also vertical angles. Oh, no wonder I can't hear anything. I didn't turn the volume up loud enough. Okay, Jonathan's here. Okay, so there we go. Those are our definitions of our angles, and we're going to use those the whole day today and tomorrow. So we're going to just use those definitions, and it's that whole first page, so if you need them, you can go back to them really easily. So let's go back here really quick. So our first two definitions are complementary and supplementary, right? So they have to add, and this is how I tell, because sometimes those words are like, I don't remember which one's which. So complementary comes before supplementary alphabetically, right? And 90 comes before 180 numerically. So 90 goes with complementary, 180 goes with supplementary. Does that help a little bit? That's how I could never remember the difference till I kind of made that connection, that complementary is before supplementary, so 90 and 90 is before 180. So those go with each other, okay? 2 pages. It was our last one, right? Vertical angles are angles opposite each other when two lines cross. So they were opposite each other and from the two lines that cross. That's called a vertical angle. Ones until tomorrow when we go over that. I didn't want to do too much at one time just because I don't want to overwhelm you guys yet. So try to do those 4 different types of angles, and there's 11 problems on Delta Math. So you should be able to get those done today and do some missing work for your grade, okay? So if you have any questions, please ask me, and that's on today's assignment or any missing assignments that you have. You guys have literally 4 days left until the 25th, and that's when everything closes down. So you need to get everything in by Thursday at 11:59, okay? Thank you. To the second page, it just says find the asked for angle. So we're going to see what they want us to find and then find it algebraically, okay? So the first one says find the measure of an angle that is complementary to the angle with a measure of 55. So what does complementary mean?
They come to 90
They add to be 90 degrees. It doesn't matter if they touch or not, but they have to, complementary means that they add to be 90 degrees. So the two angles have to be 90 degrees. So I'm going to take 90 and I'm going to subtract 55 from there. And that's how I find my other angle. So let's see, that would be 8 and 5, 35 degrees. And that's it. Right? It should be over there in that corner. Okay. So the second one says, again, this one says supplementary. What does supplementary mean?
You
Add to be what?
180.
180. So I can go back to, so 180. So this time I'm going to subtract from 180. So really to find the angle, all I'm doing is subtracting, and that's it. You're just subtracting. So 8 is going to be 7, so that's a 5. 17 minus 8 is 9, so it should be 95 degrees. Done. Okay. And I guess the next one is also supplementary. So again, 180 subtract 150. Oh, this one's going to be hard. 30 degrees. Okay, and the last one we're going to do together before it's your turn is complementary, which is 90, right? Yeah, 90. 90 minus 14 is, what is it?
76 degrees.
76 degrees. Awesome. Okay. Okay. So now you've got 4 to do by yourself. I'm going to just make them bigger here so the people in class can see them. So number A is 5 degrees.
67.
Number B is 67 degrees. Number C is 175 degrees. Supplementary is 180. And number D is 1 degree. Nice job, Khaleesi. Good job, Siale.
Supplementary is 180 and
Complementary is 90. Good. Okay, is that any other questions on that? Are we okay? Okay. So we're going to go on to, since we haven't had one. Oh, so it won't ask that, but it will ask you just to find the angle measurements of them. And I think they're pretty easy. I tried not to get the hard. Next page, we're going to be done early today. You guys will have time to finish your homework and work on missing work, because a lot of you have missing work. Yes, I know.
I tried to tell you when it's done.
No, I'm going to go through. If we have time today, I'll go through and do any.
I had some, I'm still working on the ones that have the penalty, but like,
Okay.
I forgot if I had it, because I remember like last term, like that.
Yeah, you're supposed to tell me, but.
Yeah, so I don't know, I'm trying to test.
Okay. So now we have our different types of angles. And really what we're going to talk about is vertical angles, linear pair. Okay, I did spell that right. Linear angles, right? Linear pair. Supplementary, which is basically, okay, let me erase this because I want to write this next to linear pair. Linear pair is supplementary. So really, supplementary. I think that's right. And then the last one would be complementary. Complementary. Oh, I'm going to run out of room. Okay, so basically for a linear pair, we're just going to call supplementary angles, in this case, linear pairs. Okay, so we're going to name the type of angles and find the asked for angle. So in number 1, we're looking at these two right here. So this angle, I'm going to erase this. I want to say this angle here and this angle here. What type of angles do they form? Do they form complementary, vertical, or a linear pair? So watch. I'm going to erase this again. What do those two angles make? They make a what? A line, supplementary, right. So it's called, we're calling these ones a linear pair, okay? So we know that they add up to be 180 degrees. So I'm gonna find x. X is gonna, so I can write an equation. And I know that we can find it really easily, but I wanna start writing an equation because tomorrow, guess what? We're gonna add some more variables in here. It's gonna get a little harder, right? So I wanna be able to learn how to write the equations, right? So this would be x plus 50 has gotta equal 180 degrees, okay? So those two angles added together has to equal 100, sorry, I need to blow it up so you guys can see it. X plus 50 has to equal 180 degrees. And then what do I do? Of course, what we've been doing the whole time is subtract 50, right? Isn't that how I've been finding it? So it's gonna be 130 degrees. And that's it, okay? We just wrote it out a little differently because soon, tomorrow, we're gonna have some more things in there and we're gonna have to do a little bit more, okay? So what about this pair? What is this called? What does it form?
Linear.
Yep, it forms a line. Therefore, it's a linear pair, so it forms a line. So it's a linear pair. So I'm gonna say x plus 147 has to equal 180. Okay, great. So what do? Subtract 147. So x is going to equal, I don't know, that's going to be 33 degrees. Okay, questions at home or here? No, not too bad so far? Okay.
I got confused.
You-
When I thought it looked like a 90-degree side, so check 147 minus 90, but I get it now.
Why would it be? Okay,
I don't know.
because we're not on 3 yet. If we go to 3, we have a 90-degree sign, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now 3, we already know it's a 90-degree sign, so we know it's supposed to equal what? So what type of angle is it first?
Complement.
Complementary, good. Is it okay if I just spell it that far out? That's good. So I'm going to write my equation, right? X plus 40 has to equal 90. So I'm going to subtract 40, and X is going to equal 50 degrees. Okay? So most of the 90-degree ones are really lucky because you'll have the little 90-degree sign there. So that one should be pretty easy to identify. Okay, so I think we have 3 more to do. Oh, look, I have an X and a Y. I have 2 variables this time. So that just means I have to find 2 different things. So let's start with X. What type, if we're starting with X, what type of,
Linear?
it's linear, good. So if I start with X, X is linear, good. So if I'm going to start with X, that forms a linear pair. Okay, and then I'm going to say that X plus 121 equals 180. So subtract 121, and that gives me 59? That's 60, yep, good, 59 degrees. So now let's look at Y. What is Y? What type of, look, I have Y is here, right? So I know I have that. What type of angle is that? Complementary means they add to 100, add to 90. Do those 2 angles add to 90? No. So what is it?
Supplementary.
Do those add to 180? This angle and this angle, the 2 that I've marked in? No. What are they? They share a what?
The same angle.
The same vertex. So they are vertical. Okay, so if they share a the same vertex, they're 2 lines that cross. Remember, I'm going to go back here really. Okay, and they're equal to each other. So Y equals 121 degrees. So vertical angles are equal to each other. Okay. All right, so let's go to number 5. Oh, we got 2 equations this time also. So what is X? What type of line is X? What type of angle would X be to 170?
Linear?
Linear, good. And I would say x plus 170 equals 180. So what is x going to equal? 10 degrees. Beautiful. And what is y? What type is y to 170? Vertical. Good. Vertical. So y is going to equal 170 degrees. Good, you guys. And then we're back to number 6, and then you guys are going to do some on your own. What type of line is, what type of angle is that? Linear. So x plus 67 equals 180. So subtract 67. X is going to equal,
13 degrees.
I don't think so.
No, 113. Bless you.
Thank you.
That would have been funny if she didn't. I know, I was like, uh-oh.
Sometimes that happens when someone says bless you, you know. Okay, so there's 6 more. I want you to go ahead and,
I sound like the guinea pig. I
so,
went here, and then when my parents split, I went to Highland for a year.
oh,
I knew nobody, and I came back here, and then a week after I came here, like from back here.
we went into COVID.
Started.
Okay, so let's just go over these really quick. If you have any questions on any of the 6, please let me know, okay? So the first one is complementary. And x is going to equal 45 degrees. And then number B is linear. And x is going to equal, I think it's 65 degrees. And then lumber C is vertical, and x equals 37 degrees. And then number D was probably the hardest, at least a few people said it was. And this is linear. And x equals the 60 degrees. And then E is complementary, and x equals 77 degrees. Wow, I'm doing really well today. And then the last one again is linear, and x equals 55 degrees. Okay, so so today on the Delta Math, I don't think they ask you to label. I don't think they ask you to label, like I asked you to name the pairs. I don't think they ask you to name the pairs, the type they are. I don't think so. I just can't remember. I'm so sorry. But they will ask you to find what they equal. So you will have to do that. And then,
It doesn't ask what thing it is because I'm interested in it.
yeah.